Hey everyone, what's up? As of this morning, the closed beta for the Cycle Frontier has sadly come to an end, and we're all left here waiting for the next beta to come online so we can get our grind on again in that game. But I wanted to make a video on what I enjoyed about the closed beta and what I think are things that could be good for the game moving forward. Now, of course, this is just my opinion as a gamer, and I'm not a game dev, but still, I want to offer my perspective on it. What I really enjoy about the Cycle Frontier is the fact that it hits that beautiful sweet spot between it's not a casual game, but it's also not super hardcore, mega punishing like a game like Tarkov is. It hits that sweet spot in between, and I think that's beautiful, and I think there's really is a place in the gaming market exactly for that type of game. Now, the basic gameplay loop in the Cycle Frontier feels really fun, and the reason for that is that items retain their value. You're always going to be happy when you see certain items lying around, or when you can shoot someone and steal their stuff and they have certain items, because items retain their value. This is because the devs have chosen not to have a public marketplace in the game, and I've talked about this in a previous video, and I think that this is absolutely the way to go. This is the only way to make loot stay valuable, stay exciting. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like, nope, I'm not picking that up because I can just buy that off the marketplace, and all of these items just lose their identity, lose their color, and lose their value. So this is definitely the way to go, and I love it. The PvP in the game is fun. It's more than just running and gunning. You have tactical options. The map has a lot of verticality, so there is definitely ways to outplay people. There's definitely ways to fight if you're solo versus a team, although there is some discussion about teams maybe being a little bit too strong, but that's a balancing issue, of course. But anyway, the game, it offers you a lot of possibilities to outplay people, and nothing feels better than outplaying. If you're solo and you're outplaying a duo, just nothing feels better than that, just by making better decisions, being smarter, and not just being the one with the better aim. The constant threat of being in danger wherever you are makes it so exciting to get out with a big loot haul. Yesterday, I was in a game. I had a full bag of loot. I had a lot of loot on me. I had some exciting stuff on me. It was raining super hard, and I didn't hear a thing. I moved up to an extract. I called my extract in. The moment my extract came down, I was moving to it. I was in it. I was almost out. All of a sudden, a guy chucks 2 grenades in there, which was a really smart tactical decision from him. And that guy went home with a really nice stack of loot because he completely surprised me. He made a really smart play, and that is exactly the type of scenario that makes this game fun, refreshing, exciting, and just downright awesome. Now, another thing that I really think is a strong point for this game, right now the devs are aiming to make this game free to play with a battle pass monetization, which I think is a great idea, because I think there are a lot of people out there who are currently not trying games like this out, or trying games in this genre out, because they're afraid of paying for a game that they might not enjoy because of the hardcore aspect of it. So I think it's a great idea to bring this out free to play. All right, now let's talk about a couple of things that I hope to see in the future of the game. The first thing I want to talk about is the movement in the game. Right now, I feel like the base walking speed is a little bit too slow. It could do with a little bit, being a little bit faster. The current running speed, I feel like, is pretty good, so maybe they can just close the gap between those two and it would already feel better, in my opinion. I do feel like, however, when you're running around with a full backpack, you really get slowed down to a crawl, and I think that may just be a little bit too much. However, the main thing I don't like about it is that it's the same for each and every one of the backpacks. So if I'm running around with a small white backpack and it's full, I get slowed down the same amount I am as I'm running around with a blue backpack that is completely full, which does not make any sense, because with that blue backpack, I'm basically carrying double the weight. So why is this slowing me the same amount? Doesn't make any sense. My suggestion for that would be have the white backpack just not have a speed penalty, have the green backpack have like a small speed penalty when it gets full, the blue one a little bit more, and then the purple one, let that one have the current slow. Because when you have a purple backpack full, that's a lot of weight you're carrying, and it makes total sense that you're slowed down to a crawl. But with that little fanny pack that basically the white backpack is, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. Now, another thing that I would love to see is to get the ability to be able to lean around corners, because that would just give you a little bit more tactical depth or depth in your tactical decisions. Now, another thing I would love to see added to the movement system is leaning. I would love to be able to just lean around a corner and be able to shoot or hold an angle that way, because that gives you that little bit extra depth in your tactical decisions. And the more depth and tactical decisions that you have in a game like this, the better it gets. So I think that can only improve it. Now, if they would increase the basic movement speed, that would also add the option to be able to jiggle peek corners, which is currently something that you really don't want to be doing, because you're just going to get punished for it because you're too slow strafing sideways to be able to effectively jiggle peek. So those are my ideas about what can be done with the movement to make that just a little bit smoother, just a little bit more natural, and just give us a little bit more options. The next thing I want to talk about is the gunplay, because this has been a very controversial topic in the community and on the Discord server of the Cycle Frontier. There's a lot of people that feel that some guns are just completely overpowered right now. If you have been shot by a flechette from way too far away, raise your hand right now if you've been traumatized by that gun, and then use that hand to slam the like button on this video and the subscribe button to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. The main OP guns right now is probably the flechette and the voltaic brute, and I feel like the flechette, while it is a great gun and it definitely needs to stay in the game, it needs to be made more to fit its role, because it is an SMG. And right now it's outclassing every assault rifle in the game, and that just shouldn't be happening. It needs more of a damage drop off over range, maybe like less pen and less damage over range or something like that. More bullet drop, things like that, just to tone it down at medium and long range so that ARs finally get a place in the game. And then the voltaic brute, well, yeah, that one needs a little bit of work as well, because I have not been able to win gunfights against people wielding those. It might be my aim, but let's just say it's not, okay? And then, of course, there's the other gun that the community isn't too happy about, which would be the C32 bolt-action rifle that you get available from the start of the game. It's one of the starter weapons, and my opinion is a little bit torn on this one, because, I mean, there is the point that if you're broke or you're just getting started in the game and you're going up against people with better gear, you have to be able to give those people a chance to win a fight. And I think that is what the C32 bolt action does right now. It gives you a chance to beat people that have better gear than you, but you will need to play well, because it's still a sniper rifle, it's still a slow shooting gun. So you're still gonna have to play well with it, but it gives you that opportunity to beat people that have better gear than you. If they just take it away, or they put it like behind a faction at somewhat of a little bit of a higher level, there's not really a lot left that you can do as a beginner player when you meet someone in blue armor, rocking a flechette or a voltaic brute. You're not gonna be able to do a lot. So I'm a little bit torn about the gun. I don't know what they need to do with it. Like I said, I'm not a game dev, so I don't really know the answer to this one. The only thing I really don't like about it is when a squad, let's say you have a 2-person or a 3-person squad and each of them has a bolt action, if they all just aim at you and pop you at the same time, you're just dead, and that is not an engaging, fun gaming experience. That's just frustration, especially with the current bug going on where people can drop really close to you after you've dropped in. I don't know the answer to this one, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this problem. All right, and then I want to talk about the crafting system in the game, because the crafting system in this game is something that I really like. It's not overly complex, it's nice, and it's a big part of what makes loot feel good in this game, because it's super fun to be running around finding an item and being like, oh yes, now I can finally craft a new blue armor, oh yes, now I can finally craft my big OP gun. Who knows, whatever it is, but it's part of what makes the game exciting. I also think it's a great idea to have these OP legendary guns available in the game because it gives you a really nice goal to work towards, so like a project that you can work towards getting. My biggest issue with the crafting system right now is the fact that you can only craft one item at a time and the crafting times are pretty long. Now, I know that you can skip those crafting times by paying K-marks for it, but I just don't like that system. I would much rather see the option to have multiple things crafting at the same time. I would much rather see it possible to be able to be crafting a helmet, an armor, a backpack, just like one of each slot. Just give us the possibility to be crafting one piece of gear for every slot so that we can at least make full gear sets at the same time. I think that would make a lot more sense. Get rid of the skip crafting thing and just do it that way, in my opinion. Oh, and also one more thing that I would really like to see for the crafting is it needs some UI improvements, because right now the only way you can see what you're crafting and how long is left on it is by finding the item again. But I don't know how you guys are, but I just forget what I'm crafting. So then I need to go through the entire list and check, wait, was I crafting this? No, was I crafting this? Was I crafting this? How long does it have left? That just doesn't really work for me. So I hope they change the UI so they make it easier to see that kind of thing. And like I said, I hope they make it possible to craft multiple items at the same time, because this feels a little bit too slow, which is frustrating at times. Alright, and then the last part I want to talk about in this video is the inventory system. I think the current system with weight works pretty well, but I think that there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to the balancing of the weight of certain items. For example, it doesn't really make much sense to me that a syringe that you jam into your wrist to heal yourself weighs almost double as a chunk of nickel or titanite. And it also doesn't really make sense that a huge chunk of blue wood weighs just a fraction more than one of those stims that you put into your wrist. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So I feel like there's a lot of room there. There's some jiggle space to rebalance that weight system a little bit, which I think can only benefit the game. Something I would love to see for the game is like a fourth slot somewhere in there where we can put a tactical pouch. That tactical pouch would be a place where you get your ammo, you put your stims, you put your grenades and stuff like that. And the reason for that is right now, if you're in the beginning of your progression and you want to take a kit in, you gotta take in a gun, maybe two guns, maybe you take a pistol and a sniper rifle with you. You take ammo for both of those guns, you take some stims with you, maybe you wanna grab one or two grenades to give you a couple of extra tactical options. But the problem is, if you're doing that with a white backpack, more than half of your backpack is already full of the gear that you're taking in just to be able to defend yourself. That doesn't really feel good, and I think that having that tactical pouch would really solve that issue. You just go in with an empty backpack ready to get all of your loot in there, but you also have your stuff on you to be able to defend yourself, and you don't have to make decisions like, I guess I'll throw my grenades away so I can pick up this really valuable item, and then 10 minutes later you're at an extract and you're in a gunfight where you really need some grenades to break out, and it feels bad because you tossed them away just to be able to grab an item of loot. That's not the type of decision that I want to be making in a game like this. I want to have both of those options. I want to be able to defend myself well, but I also don't want to feel like I can only grab 50 pounds of weight in loot because, well, that's hardly anything. When hatchet running becomes the best way to make money in a game, that's not a fun experience, because there will be a ton of people. We all know it. We all know it will happen. There's a lot of people that will just enjoy running and gunning and shooting people, but there's going to be so many people who are just going to be running around with a white backpack and a hatchet, trying to farm things like focus crystals, flowers, stuff like that. Just get a bunch of money that way. And what they will do is they will skip the entire early and mid game, and they will just farm up stuff until they have enough to make end game gear, or at least like high mid-tier gear, and they'll just skip a part of the game. And it will also make the game less fun for the people that are playing it the regular way, because we're in there with our guns, we see somebody running, and we don't get a fun PvP fight. We just get to shoot a Timmy with a hatchet, which is freaking lame. So I hope the devs are picking up on this, and I hope they're going to be doing something to combat that. I don't think that this is the type of game where you will be able to completely deny hatchet running, I just hope that they do something about it, and I think changing up the way that the inventory system works would be a good first step for that. Now, all in all, guys, I had an amazing time in this closed beta for the Cycle Frontier. I had a lot of fun. The game is refreshing, is rewarding, is frustrating at times, but it's that good kind of frustration, you know? It's the kind of frustration like, oh, damn it, I misplayed. I should have done better. I can do this better. I can do that better. And you can improve. And it's really a game that you're going to be able to sink a bunch of hours into. I also want to give a huge shout out to the people over at Jaeger Studios for providing me with some beta keys to give away, and I hope that everyone that won one in my stream over on Twitch had a lot of fun in it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the YouTube content. I've enjoyed making it a lot, and I am very much looking forward to what the future will bring for the Cycle Frontier, and I'm also looking hella forward to making more content for this game. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video for today. If you have any comments, if you want to say something about any of the points I make, whether you agree or you disagree, feel free to hit us down in the comment section below the video. And if you like the video, please hit us with that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to help us out. It helps the channel out a ton. We're still growing. I'm still finding my way in this YouTube world. So every little click helps us out a lot. But for now, guys, have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.